Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. General Hospital fans weren't the only ones bummed out to learn that Steve Burton would be taking a leave of absence. Kelly Thiebaud was disappointed too. Star-crossed lovers Jason and Britt had just finally gotten together, and poof, that fast, their relationship was being put on hold again. I was shocked when I found out, she says in a new episode of State of Mind, shared by TV Insider. So I confronted Steve about it. Why is Burton bowing out? Thiebaud understood her leading man's desire to take a break. I'm newly married and looking forward to spending some quality time with my family, explained the actor, who wed Michelle Lundstrom back in May of last year. But the other side of that, Thiebaud admits, is I feel let down, I thought we had time together, and it's just been really hard. The last time Jason and Britt's storyline was heating up was in 2021, when Steve was let go for refusing to comply with the COVID vaccination protocols that the show had put in place to safeguard its cast and crew. When will Jason be returning? At least this time around, viewers know when the Emmy winner will be returning as Jason. He will be back this summer, he said in announcing his exit. While you're here, why not have yourself a scroll through the brand new edition of Soap's Burning Questions in the below photo gallery? The world of Port Charles just got a whole lot more complicated, and not just on screen. General Hospital fans have been buzzing for weeks after one of the show's most beloved leading men made a sudden and shocking departure, and now his on-screen partner, the stunning Kelly Thiebaud, is finally breaking her silence. What she said will leave you breathless. Thiebaud, who has captivated audiences for years with her portrayal of the fierce and emotionally complex Dr. Britt Westbourne, sat down for what was supposed to be a routine promotional interview, but almost immediately the conversation took a deeply personal turn, and once she started talking, there was simply no stopping her. I feel let down, she said, her voice quiet but firm, the kind of quiet that makes a room go still. Those 4 words have since set the internet on fire. The exit nobody saw coming. For months, whispers had been circulating on daytime television forums and fan pages that something was off behind the scenes at GH. Storylines that seemed to be building toward a major payoff were suddenly dropped. Scenes that fans had been teased about never materialized. And then, without so much as a proper farewell arc, the leading man was simply gone. Insiders close to the production described the situation as abrupt and handled poorly, though they stopped short of assigning blame to any single party. What everyone seemed to agree on, however, was that the departure left cast members blindsided, none more so than Thiebaud herself. When you build something with someone, real chemistry, real trust, and then it just evaporates overnight, it's jarring, she explained. You show up to set expecting to film scenes you've been preparing for, and suddenly you're told things have changed. It's a lot to absorb. More than just co-stars. What makes Thiebaud's comments particularly poignant is the professional intimacy that soap opera actors share. Unlike film or prime-time television, daytime actors work together almost every single day. They memorize lines together. They rehearse together. They dig into the emotional depths of their characters' relationships in a way that creates bonds that go beyond a typical workplace friendship. People underestimate what it takes to create the kind of connection viewers fall in love with on screen, Thiebaud said. It doesn't just happen. You invest. You open yourself up. You trust the other person completely, because that vulnerability is what makes it real for the audience. That trust, she suggested, was what made the exit sting so deeply. It wasn't just about losing a scene partner, it was about losing the story we were building together, and I think the fans deserve better than that. Fan reaction, outrage, heartbreak, and demands for answers. Within hours of Thiebaud's comments surfacing, social media erupted. The hashtag #BringHimBack began trending across multiple platforms, with fans sharing clips of their favorite on-screen moments and expressing heartfelt messages of support for the actress. One fan wrote with thousands of retweets, "Kelly Thiebaud is saying what we've all been feeling. This exit was handled terribly, and she deserves so much better." Others were less measured in their frustration, directing pointed criticism to the show's producers and network executives for what they described as a baffling creative decision. Petition pages began circulating, fan groups organized, the daytime television community, never shy about making its voice heard, was in full mobilization mode. Longtime General Hospital watchers noted that abrupt cast changes are not uncommon in the world of soaps, but few have generated this level of emotional response from a fellow cast member going on record. What comes next for Thiebaud? Despite her frustration, Thiebaud was careful to emphasize that she remains committed to the show and to the fans who have supported her throughout her run. "I love this job. I love these people. I love what we get to create together, and I'm not going anywhere. But that doesn't mean I can't be honest about how something made me feel. I think honesty is always worth more than a polished non-answer." When pressed about whether she had spoken directly with producers about her concerns, she offered only a measured smile. "There are conversations that happen privately and conversations that happen publicly. I'll just say that the appropriate people know how I feel." As for the future of her character, whether Britt's storyline will be adjusted, whether the show plans to address the departure in a meaningful way, Thiebaud remained tight-lipped, though her eyes suggested there was far more she could say if she chose to. What is certain is that the drama at General Hospital no longer is confined to the fictional streets of Port Charles. Kelly Thiebaud has stepped into the spotlight not as a character, but as herself, a woman who built something real, felt it slip away, and refused to pretend otherwise. In a world where carefully managed public statements and corporate-approved talking points are the norm, there is something quite remarkable about that. Fans will be watching, and something tells us this story is far from over.